All right, we are back on MorningLine. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. So, September 15th to August 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. Did I say October? September to October. So September 15th to October 15th is Hispanic Heritage Month. So we're in the middle of that. Fabian Bedne is joining us this morning, and also Yuri Cunza with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here in Nashville. Thanks both of you for joining us this morning. Let me just follow up, Yuri, as we were talking before we went to the break about, you know, the numbers and trying to get a tally on the number of Hispanic businesses in the region. What type of businesses are we talking about? What do you see predominantly, and does it just go across the board?
Well, it probably grows across the board, but the Hispanic businesses are usually identify with food service industry, construction, perhaps landscaping, cleaning services. But find that there are not only in those categories, also professional services are growing, and any other industry that you can think of. That can be even healthcare and legal services, consulting, digital services, anything you may think of in addition to like a bridal shop or a what would you call that? A traditional, authentic food making of a particular region. It could be Mexico or Colombia or any Central American dish. People are manufacturing that, especially because they've been affected by COVID. They have to change the ways in which they were doing things.
And shouldn't we say, Fabian, it's worth noting too then, and I think he makes a good point on the various varieties of businesses, that these aren't businesses just catering to that population either, correct? I mean, it can be beyond that, though. I mean, when I'm looking for, say, I'm in the mood for, you know, Mexican food or, you know, some type of ethnic food in that regard, one way I'll tally it is if I see a lot of the patrons eating there happen to be, you know, from Mexico or from that part of the region, I assume it's going to be better food there. Is that a fair testimony to that? Because that's one thing I look for.
Yeah. I mean, you will find, if you come to my neck of the woods down on Lawrenceville Road, you will find all kinds of food from all kinds of places. Sure. It's all excellent. But I wanted to speak about the professionals that are Latino who are serving and helping right now address the COVID pandemic. There are many dreamers that are went to college and became nurses, and they're working in the health service industry and just trying to keep us alive. So there's a percentage of the Latino population that went on to the in Tennessee. I think we're almost like 10,000, right? Yuri, DACA recipients, I think.
Well, we have 14,000, and because the number is a little over 100,000 Hispanics in the area. So we have a lot of young professionals that happen to be dreamers, have a DACA permission to work, and they are part of the healthcare industry. So you'll find Latinos working in all parts of Nashville, helping the city move forward, and we're happy to do our part. You know, we're very proud of being here and thankful as well.
Absolutely. As far as Hispanic Heritage Month, I want you each, since we haven't touched on that yet, to kind of talk about what kind of things are going on, you know, during this month between, you know, September 15th and October 15th, and just, you know, what's out there for folks to learn more about the community. What, you know, tell us what we should look into, you know, during this month and what stands out.
Yeah, well,
go ahead, Yuri.
Well, first, we wanted to help understand what Hispanic Heritage Month is. Hispanic Heritage Month is not a foreign celebration. Hispanic Heritage Month is a United States recognition of all of those who trace their roots to Spanish-speaking countries, and it's being celebrated many decades. First by President Lyndon Johnson. It was a week long, and then it became a month long after the Reagan administration. And so from any part of the United States, the recognition takes place from September 15 to October 15. Here in Nashville, we have been leading the recognition since 2005 for our Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we're happy to see and I'm sure Fabian will remember at the beginnings, you see that now in many places, many organizations, Hispanic or not, are recognizing and celebrating this. And I want to encourage people to, if you want to be supportive of a recognition of such as this, spend at a small business.
Sure.
Spend at a Hispanic business. And that will be just my message about Hispanic Heritage Month. You want to support our community, go ahead and support the entrepreneurial spirit of all of those who are our neighbors in Nashville, in Davidson County, and beyond by getting to know a new business and perhaps making a new friend.
I think it's a great idea. Fabian, do you want to elaborate on this month and what's on store?
Yeah, I mean, there are many events. Obviously, we want people to be safe and go to outdoor events and wear a mask and keep distance, but you can celebrate and be careful as well. The Nashville Hispanic Chamber of Commerce came to the courthouse recently and kicked off the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. There are many nonprofits and agencies that are doing celebrations, not only in Nashville, but in surrounding cities. There are in Murfreesboro, in Franklin, all over the place. So it's just a matter of keep an eye for it and just stop by and have a good time and get to know your neighbors. And just like Yuri was saying, support a group that is trying to get to know you, share some of our values. I mean, we are proud Americans, but we also have things that we care about in particular that is part of our history and our culture, and we are proud to celebrate.
And I think this is an opportunity, as both of you just said, to get out and maybe try something new or get to know, someone new. I'm wondering, the importance of that, I don't think can be overstated, especially when you consider there may still be some misconceptions out there one way or the other, many of which I think are probably unfair. I mean, Yuri, what do you feel maybe are some misconceptions, or what do you think some people may be surprised to discover if they decide to reach out and get to know, more folks that maybe they have not in the past?
Oh, well, that's a great question. I really appreciated the caller who told us what his perhaps concern was, or his thoughts were about, I guess, Americans or different communities. So there is, from the fact that perhaps the language may be a barrier, that we are very different in many ways, or that even determining why we're here or how we came here, and that includes also legal status and just a lot of assumptions. But Hispanics have been in the U.S. for a long time, and there are individuals who have been born here of Hispanic parents who had grandparents also that were born in the United States. So Hispanic is not a race, is a heritage, is the roots that connect us with countries that speak Spanish. But some of those, sometimes there are individuals who are Hispanic who were born in the U.S. have not had the experience of being in those countries where their parents were from. Mm-hmm. And I think that somehow it's very similar to the experience of other Americans who have roots in Europe or somewhere else.
Sure.
I mean, it's just, we're no different in that regard. So a lot of assumptions, but I think the best way to get rid of those assumptions is to engage. So as Fabian was saying, I want to commend those thoughts, those comments, is that we also at the Hispanic Chamber are concerned about the spread of COVID-19 in our communities, in our minority communities, and also the Hispanic community. So we will not encourage events that are indoors that can facilitate for the spread. We need to be very cautious, and we are encouraging people in this case perhaps to just frequent a business and support the community that way. I think we follow protocols. We are always on top of guidance that can be passed on to the small businesses that are our members, and also beyond our membership, outside of our membership, within in the community, so they are safe and they keep safe practices to keep their consumers, the clients, safe and themselves safe. So we have a list of 20 or plus events Some of them will be virtual. Actually, most of them are virtual because we wanted to do the things that we used to do outside, with a lot of people, but that's not the time yet to do that. We think that we should be very cautious, try to help everyone stay safe.
Fabian, with regard to, and you both have touched on COVID, which I think is great, and I think everyone's trying to be observant of that. Within the Hispanic or Latino community, do you get the sense that, the idea about going and getting vaccinated is there? We know there are certain groups out there for one reason or another that are not getting as vaccinated to the levels that I think the CDC would like to see. What about in the Hispanic community?
I think you will see the Latino community, the Hispanic community is a reflection of the community at large. Mm-hmm. The difference is that Latinos, more than Anglos, get the information out of social media. So any virus, information that is incorrect that is spreading on social media is going to resonate with the Latino community, and so we find that people have total I have just heard all kinds of things, and I think it's important that we, and Yuri and I do that, is communicate to people about the truth about these vaccines instead of all this misinformation that is being spread around. But we want everybody to be healthy because we are an ecosystem, right? If one person anywhere in the city gets sick, it impacts everybody in the city. So it's important for us that everybody does better because that makes the city be better. So
yeah, well, that's you, Fabian, and Yuri, both having community leaders like you advocating that is very important, and TV shows like this. So as we go to the break, yes, get vaccinated, all right? Just do it. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more right after this.